Hey everybody, it's Will. We're going to do a quick video here on the Mk10 carry kit. I'm going to show you how to change around some of the objects and little features and whatnot on this particular knife. So what you're going to need for this endeavor here, you're going to need a T15 or a T10. Both will work for your pivot. And you'll also need a T6. I simplified it a little bit. I got rid of the T7s and went with all T6s. That makes it a little bit easier for you to change things around. So all you need is two tools for this particular knife here. And so we're going to take our knife, which is in its base configuration right now as is. You'll notice it's got its nice CF scales on there. Floating spacer, we've got a black pocket clip, and we've got this wonderful hand rubbed satin clip point tanto blade on it. But for whatever reason today we woke up and we were feeling spicy and we decided that we want to go with a Wharncliffe blade, which we'll talk about in just a second. And you know, those carbon fiber scales, you know, those are great, but sometimes you just, again, you know, you just feel like, man, I just got to get in the groove. We're going to go with some Blue Moon Glow, and we're going to, for whatever reason, swap out for black screws. And just to, you know, because we want to, let's throw some blue stuff on there. And I'll show you how to swap all this stuff around. Now, of course, I also have a set of blue twill scales in here too. Now, this is not going to be the case it comes in. It's actually going to come in one that has foam in it, so everything will have its own little respective place. I just have this for the time being. However, let's get started here. So the first thing you want to do is remove the pocket clip. T6, and this is super easy to do. It's just 3 screws. You just unscrew it. Rocket surgery right there. And these come off like so. And this is going to expose what I call the rear screws. There are 3 when you have this particular blade on it. When you have this clip point tanto, it clears, there's a screw, this 3rd screw right here, this one, and it clears that. But when you have the Wharncliffe blade on it, it does not, because the Wharncliffe has got a straight tip on it. So you want to remove that particular screw when you omit that one when you reassemble this. And I'll show you that again in a little bit more detail. We're going to pull these 3 out. These are T6s. These just come out like so. Of course, you want to capture all these. You don't want to lose this stuff, but just in case you do misplace them, I included a whole extra set of 3 in the carry kit. So you should have spares. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to hinge our back spacer out. This gives us a little bit of leverage here, and we're going to remove the pivot. Now you want to remove it from this side. The other side is heavily Loctited. That's just to make this a little bit easier for all of us. That is a titanium screw there. You can see that nice blue anodized little collar machining right there. And so what you're going to do is actually unlock. You want to have this in the open position. You're going to unlock the blade, swing it partially like this, and the pressure from the lock bar is actually going to push up a little bit, and you just wiggle this back and forth just a little bit, and it'll come right apart. Lift that off. See that nice jeweling up on the inside? So we're going to remove our stop pin, and again, we don't want to lose our bearings. We're just going to take that, set that right there, and then the blade will just simply pop right off. You can leave all this stuff here assembled still with the bearing and the pivot still in there. We're going to take this and set this aside and grab our new blade. I mean, really, this is not, like I said, it's not super difficult or anything like that if you want to change these things out. Be careful when you remove the blade, of course, from its packaging, because this is a sharp blade. Both of these are an S90, which is pretty cool. So we get this wonderful Wharncliffe blade. Now this is media blasted here, and then it's got that nice swedge. It's actually kind of a double swedge, if you can tell. It's very, very nicely done. Super thin profile. Really cool. Okay, so we're going to set this back on here. We'll worry about the scales in just a minute. Put our stop pin back into its little recess. Add our bearing. Now, we also wanted to change out that backspacer too, so let's go ahead and add the new backspacer. These backspacers have a pin in them that allows them to pivot, hinge, and you'll notice that they both have their own little pressed in pin there. We're going to go for this blue vintage spacer here, so it's going to go, we're going to take this out of the original frame, and these are tight. I mean, they should be, so you just want to, let's see here. Yep, there you go. And then we're going to add this back in. Okay. And this can go on either side if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. In fact, it may be a little easier if you put it on the side with the blade. This non-locking portion here. And then we're going to take, you want to make sure that you got your bearing on, of course. We're going to take this and line everything up. You want to, of course, make sure that your lock is up. And just make sure everything's on there. And then the best thing to do is to take your pivot screw here, add it back on, and just get it just tight enough to where everything is kind of seated down and nothing's going to come apart. Okay? Just like this. So we have our backspacer in there. You can see everything lines up nicely. We have our blade in. Now, the thing that we want to do now, this is the only tricky part here. We want to make sure that this blade is centered. So what I do is I typically will let it go to rest, and it's a little off center now. So what I need to do is tighten this up just slightly. So I'll hold it so that I can see the blade like this. Put my driver in here and tighten it up just slightly. That looks good to me. We want to test. Okay, that works good. It's locking up, it's nice and solid. And we have our blade on. Now we need to put some screws in the back here. Now we want to do 2 screws because we've got the Wharncliffe blade in here. So 1 and 2. That's it, just those 2 in the back, okay? That's really important. You don't want to put this third one in there, otherwise the tip will contact that screw. So we want to go ahead and tighten these up. And I like to squeeze the knife together to make sure everything gets as tight as possible back here. But it's really no more difficult than that. So this is all done. Now, before we put the new pocket clip on, we want to change out these scales because this pocket clip will actually retain this back scale here. So we're going to pull this off. These are again T6s, super easy to do. You'll notice that this is actually jeweled underneath of the scale too. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, how much work and time and effort can we put into one knife? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. Now, the only thing that you need to know that's a little tricky about these is that there is a short screw. This screw right here, the back of the non-locking side is actually a short screw. So that is going to be the one that goes into the back here. And this will just pull away. These are, I mean, they're tight, but they're not like ungodly. So, you know, if you're having any trouble with it, it should not be difficult to remove those. Again, nice and jeweled up in there. So let's go ahead and add our new moon glow. And I suggest, you know, when you're doing this, you're going to want to do this in a brightly lit area, preferably a high contrast background, not a whole lot of stuff around, because that's kind of a recipe for disaster if you do not. And we want to add our black screws just because. And that's exactly why I would suggest you do this on a high contrast black or white background, you know what I mean? It's you got screws going all over the place. These things are small. Now, like I said, there's 2 sets in here, so that makes it a little bit less likely that you'll have to get another set. But just in case, you don't want to do that. So we're going to add this back on. Get that short screw on there. Okay, we're going to take our rear Moonglow scale and add that there. Now what I suggest, when you put this rear scale on here, because the way that this interfaces with this lock bar, what I usually like to do is actually unlock the knife, and then I will put this screw in here. And what this does, it allows the clearance and the tolerance between the lock bar, which has to move. It's a dynamic piece right here. It has to move against this Moonglow scale. And if you unlock it, it basically sets that Moonglow scale in a position in space where it is not going to be interfering with the travel and movement of that lock bar. So that's how I usually do it. And you want to just make sure before we put that, this is all working just perfectly fine. Yeah, you want to do that before you put the pocket clip back on, because once you get the clip back on, there's a lot of screws to remove to get back to this point in time. So we're going to do this here, add our clip. Three more screws and we're done. And you want to make sure this is aligned and everything before you tighten everything up. So what I would suggest is get everything started here, but don't tighten anything until you have this in the proper alignment that you want. There's a little bit of slop, and that's purposeful, and the tolerance is here because we want to make sure that this can go on. And once you have it aligned, then you tighten everything down. And there we have our Moonglow, blue Moonglow laden Wharncliffe blade, Mark 10 Elite. Isn't that cool? This is I mean, it's special. I mean, for the guys who are true moon collectors, this kind of stuff really gets their juices flowing, because this is one of the things that that I can do that I don't think a whole lot of other makers can do, or they just don't do. I mean, whether or not they can or can't. You know, this is giving you the modularity of kind of like an AR-15 style thing, right? You can mix and match. It's kind of the Barbie doll of knives, I guess, really. Everything fits and works on this particular set here. Again, like I said, you got carbon fiber, you've got the Moonglow, blue Moonglow, and I just got to give you a good shot of this stuff because it is so freaking cool. Give me just a second here. Gotta get my trusty ZFL M60 Charlie. This is a fantastic light, by the way. If you are into flashlights at all, you should definitely check out LZ. There's that blue Moonglow. That is freaking cool, isn't it? Yeah, it's a new color of Moonglow. I haven't ever seen this stuff before, and I saw it at my my retailer that sells Moonglow, and I was like, I have got to get some of that in the shop. It is as cool as it sounds, and they call it ice blue, which I really like. It's a very nice color, and so yeah, you've got your Wharncliffe blade on there. You can swap out anytime you want for that clip point Tonto. Fantastic defensive blade shape on both of them, actually. The Wharncliffe is great for utility work too. This has got some pretty insane edge geometry. I have never mic'd a thinner edge. It's almost a zero grind. Almost. And this is an S90 as well, so you're getting a lot for your money. You know, this is not a mass-produced knife. This is all handmade, hand ground, hand fit, hand finished, everything. Sold as much for, you know, a piece of art as it is as a you know, functional tool. But beyond that, you know, you have the modularity there. You can swap and mix and match to your heart's content. If you want a black spacer on there and a blue pocket clip, you can do that. If you want blue 12 scales on one side and Moonglow on the other, you can do that. It is just a cool thing, and this is going to go up on the website today. The price on this is $2,000. I know it's a lot of money, but again, like I said, this is for the ultimate moon collector, the guy who has everything, or for you to jumpstart your own moon collection if you want basically the ultimate Mark 10. This is the ultimate Mark 10. It is really the quintessential heart and soul of what makes a Mark 10 a Mark 10. That modularity, the tolerances, everything is super tight on my knives, and this is just a testament to that. So just want to give you a quick rundown of exactly what this thing is capable of doing. You can swap out blades, you can swap out scales, you can swap out backspacers, pocket clips, screws, all this other stuff, right? So just a really cool set, and this will come in a foam encased Pelican hard case. So that's coming in today, thankfully, and so it'll be ready when this goes up for sale. It'll come in its nice fitted case there. So thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you'd like to support me, the best way to do that is to head over to www.willmooncustomknives.com. Have a look at my in-stock inventory and pick something up off my site. I do have a couple of other knives in stock, so definitely check those out. I would certainly appreciate that. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye. Hey folks, I just want to give you a quick addendum to that video, and I'm going to show you the blue twill. They're actually G10, they're not CF scales, but they look kind of like CF on the knife here. And we're going to go ahead and add these. I put the clip point Tonto blade back on, just so you can see it with that. But I kept the blue backspacer and pocket clip out. So I think those will look a little bit better with these. Just today. Might be tomorrow I feel differently and I can swap out, but just want to give you a quick look at these so you could see them. I did add that third screw back in, makes it just a little bit more stable. Let's see here, there we go. Just make sure this all works, there we go. And a pocket clip. So you can see what these look like on here. Again, because these are a nice set of scales. Every one of these scale sets is what I would consider to be a super premium material. These are all very expensive materials. The CF is by far and away the most expensive, but this blue twill stuff is right behind it. There you go. I think that looks really good. With that nice blade on there. That is just a sick looking knife. You get a little bit of a 3D look with this twill stuff. This is really cool. So, there you go. Really nice. Again, check out my website. This will be going up for sale, www.willmooncustomknives.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.